Morning, family. I'm Drew. This is Addict Space, where we discuss everything addiction. I'm back with Albert Johnson, part 2 from yesterday. And Albert's just going to continue off. Albert, good morning.
Good morning, Drew. Good morning, everybody. We was talking about trauma. In order to get to peace, you have to experience some type of trauma. And my trauma literally broke me. I always looked at my health as my wealth.
Right.
This trauma, I couldn't almost get past it.
So this is while you were using?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I wasn't using when I experienced this trauma.
Oh, okay.
I was clean and serene.
So this is an even more trying experience because you're fighting for your sobriety as well.
Yes. And I always was taught, prepare for the storm when it's peace. Your life has to become like palm trees. You bend but you don't break.
Isn't that the truth?
I'm living to the best of my ability at this time, and I receive a phone call. That my son has been shot, right?
That's got to be one of the worst. I mean,
and that's a hard pill to swallow. Fear straight set in. So when I find out, what's going on with my son, I'm at shock trauma. And I have no patience and tolerance at this time, but I have to practice patience and tolerance because no one can tell me anything when I got there.
right, sure.
It was a hard experience for me. To find out, it's something when you lose a son. I don't know if nobody else, man, but I'd rather for my children to bury me.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, man. And when my son, was no longer here, that was very devastating for me. It was very devastating for me. So I'm going through, I'm trying to be the rock in the family, because I have other sons, right? And I'm wondering why 2 of my sons is just like, don't feel nothing. And I'm wondering why they not feeling anything.
No emotions?
No
Nothing?
emotions, no nothing. Because one thing for sure, right? When you lose a loved one, either you're angry, right? And how my son left this earth, you're going to be angry.
Sure.
And you're going to want to know what happened.
Immediately.
And they are emotionless. So we go through. Then when I find out how my son departed this earth, I straight go into heart attack mode. I have congestive heart failure, and on top of that, and during the congestive heart failure, I slip into a coma. I'm in a coma for 18 days.
That's got to be crazy.
Yes.
All of it.
All I see is light, right? And when I wake up, through the grace of a high power, right? I'm trying to talk. I can't talk, right? I can't move. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to talk.
It's not happening.
It's not happening, right? So the nurse come in.
Well, so it's like you wake up, you don't even know if it's a dream or not.
Right, don't know what it's a dream or not.
You're trying to move, you can't move your body. I mean, I felt that before, and that's a very scary feeling.
And I'm looking at all these tubes.
All right, and you just have and you're trying to, it's just not coming out.
It's just not coming out.
Right.
It felt like my lips were stuck together. Now, through my using experience, through my love making, they was the two best feelings I ever felt. But this feeling that I'm ready to talk about, listen, man, my lips were so, like they were stuck together. And this lady, man, she put some ice on my lips, man, that felt so I'm talking about, man, it was like my lips was melting. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It was like my lips was melting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to, talk, but I couldn't talk.
Yeah, it's been stuck together for so long.
Stuck together, man. Stuck together. And see, my body, right? Doctors didn't know that I'm a recovering addict. My body cannot distinguish whether it's the drug that the doctor is giving me,
right, or
the street drug that I once always used. All my body knows is opiates. And I have a button. I'm pressing a button.
Oh, for the drip.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thought of using it, I'm using it.
Right.
I'm not feeling pain or nothing of that. It's funny, right? Because I'm thinking about a cigarette, right? So I'm there. I gotta go through. I had a therapist to help me how to walk, learn how to walk again. Right. I had a speech therapist too. And this took like a year. Took like a year, man.
And a lot of people don't know you stay stagnant like that for for one day, 18 days. I mean, that's your body has to learn how to function. It's all stuck together. It needs to learn how to function again.
I had to relearn how to walk, talk again. And not only that, see, sometimes you got to pull the positive out of the negative. And the positive that I pulled out of this negative trauma is that I had to become a student all over again. A student because I'm back into the recovery realm, right? And I had to become a student again, and I had to become a sponge. And through my recovery process, what I found out is some people die in order for some of us to live.
That's true.
I couldn't question the higher power who I chose to call God. I couldn't question him, because I wanted to say, why not me? Through all the things I've done, God still see something in me to keep me here. Because I found out that God got a plan for me, Drew.
Right.
All I got to do is see it through. It's a blessing and a lesson. And I found out you can carry two messages, either standing up or laying down. Real talk.
Right.
Either standing up or laying down, man. And that's not only the only trauma I experienced. In the negative, I ain't had no rap buddy.
Right.
Right? But in the recovery side, I had a rap buddy. A rap buddy for me in recovery is someone who believes in me and want to help me in my recovery.
Right.
Right? So, at that time, right, my rap buddy who helped carry the casket of my son, right? After my son went in the ground, right? Like 9 days later, he passed from blood clots. He passed, and he goes in the bathroom, and he never comes out.
That's crazy.
His wife called me 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, wow, what's going on, man? What's going on? Why is this happening? So now I'm going through, right? And I found out pain shared is pain lessened, right? And me having the disease of addiction, right? I found out this the only disease I could talk down, not away.
Right.
Because a destructive power, you can call it the devil, you can call it Satan, is going to try to live off anything, right, that causes you hurt and harm. You know, thank God I didn't act out. Because at one time, if somebody passed, I wouldn't want to treat myself. It could be an aunt I never met.
Right.
She can live in California. And I'll say, Drew, help me out, man. My aunt just passed. I ain't never met her.
Right.
I ain't never met her, but I want to treat myself. You know, I'm no longer treating myself with destructive things.
Right. Good.
You know, this right here is treating myself real healthy. You know, and I want to thank you for having this open forum for a guy like me.
Of course, absolutely. This is me. This is my outlet. I mean, I'm not one of the. I don't go to meetings. I want to, but it hasn't started like that for me. So I don't have the outlet to speak about my addiction or problems that occur in my life, relationship, otherwise, other than doing this. And, you know, obviously people don't want to hear me every single day. They want to hear other stories that relate to them. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm bringing at this point. Interviews, conversations, people. It doesn't have to have a label, but you're more than welcome at this table to discuss experience, strengths, hopes, what you've been through, what you haven't, what you would like, what you wouldn't, your life, everything. Anything that has to do with addiction, you can speak at this table. And there's someone out there that can relate to whoever is speaking.
You know, this recovery piece, right, has afforded me the opportunity to get in a relationship with 10 women. 10 females.
Right.
You know, and the females I'm talking about is, I had 6 nieces,
right,
2 sisters, 1 mother, and my fiance Adrian.
That's right.
That's 10. You know, Teddy Pendergrass said it best. It's feel real good loving somebody who love you back. And what I found out, Drew, love's an action word, not a feeling.
Right.
You know, love, the most powerful spiritual principle I could practice. You know, because religion is taught, spirituality is felt. I act on how I feel. Right? And there's no greater feeling than right now. Like, I feel like $1 million. I do, man. I feel like $1 million, man.
It's so much, you know, right before we got here, I walked up to get cigarettes, and I was thinking, something came to me about, you know, taking a hit of coke, finishing what you have at this time of day, you know, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then wondering what are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Yeah.
Like, my shit's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm geeking. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? How am I going to get more money? And the only answer is go get more. Mm-hmm. But today, I thought, well, that's funny because it's not coke. And I got Albert getting ready to be here. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? And it doesn't matter as long as I'm not.
That's right.
Doing drugs. It doesn't matter what I do for the rest of the day. And that was I don't understand how the brain does that. You know, if you take a substance, I'm sure it's chemicals, that's what it is. When I say I don't understand, I understand, but I just don't comprehend. So when I smoke, I'm lost for the rest of the day. When I'm clean, I can do nothing and I'm fine for the rest of the day. As long as I didn't just,
you know,
it's sideways.
We can't control our thoughts, right? We can only control how we respond to the thought.
Right.
You know, when a thought pop up, it goes from a thought to a feeling. A feeling is not a fact because feelings change, facts don't. If I don't change what I always done, I'm going to do and receive what I always got.
Right.
You know, when we use, right, it take us and put us in a world of an illusion. You know, a lot of times we just want to escape reality. But we cannot escape reality, right? And what has to happen and take place is our perception of reality have to change.
Right.
Because life on life terms is always going to show up.
Exactly.
You know, like, this is, I'm going to share this and I'm shut down.
Okay.
This, just had the thought of using. Let's say I had the thought of using, right? And when you have the thought of using don't last no longer than 20 minutes.
Right. Sure.
Right? Now, here's an example. I feel like using. You ever see when it rained real hard, and it rained them big drops,
Right.
right? And the thunderstorm is coming. I mean, the sky's light and stuff like that, right? And it's windy, right? And I go outside in it. But I'm prepared for it, but I go outside in it. Just like we prepare in recovery for the thought of using.
Right.
You don't know when the thought going to pop up, right? So now once I go outside, I got my rain boots, I got my umbrella, I got my raincoat on. Now I'm out there, but I'm dealing with something I can't see but feel.
Right.
What am I talking about? Glad you asked, Drew. This is what I'm talking about. You ever try to walk through some wind, right? And the wind take your breath,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you got to turn around and try to walk backwards.
Right.
But you can't continue to walk backwards because you can't see.
Can't see. Right.
And it's a thought about using now. Work with me,
Okay.
right? Now I feel like using. Now once I start feel like using, right? I'm like, oh man, this not normal for me to want to use.
Right.
But it is normal. Because basketball players, even though they retired, they still thinking about playing
Of
basketball.
course. Sure.
Any profession you in, you can retire from it. You still gonna have thoughts about still doing
Absolutely.
it. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm messed up because I feel like using. Right? Now, once I stop, right? And I turn back around, I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna seek cover. Right? Now once I seek cover, then I give myself the opportunity of a choice.
Right.
Either to use or don't use.
Okay.
See, now I can no longer, right, turn my back on it. When I say turn my back on it, right? Because it's like going to the movies, paying for it, and turning your back.
Right.
You're going to miss the whole
Yeah.
show.
You're not watching. It's wasting
And
time.
a lot of times, it ain't nothing but a repeat. It ain't nothing but a repeat. You know how you done seen a movie already, but you'll fast forward the BS parts?
Right.
And you go to the good part?
Right.
But guess what? The ending is what? Always the same. Always the same.
Always the
And
same.
every time I use, every time I use, I always end up in strange places. Like courtrooms,
Right.
jail
Right.
cells, bullpens, and stuff like that.
And they are strange places.
Yeah. So now I don't use, right? Let's say I don't use. And it stopped raining. The sky becomes calm, right? I ain't use a drink or drug,
Right.
right? And guess what I see in the street? A rainbow. And I'm like, wow, I got through this one.
Right. Made it
You
through
know what I'm
that
saying?
storm. Right.
I made it to that one. You know, and the thing about it strengthens you. It strengthens your mind. You change the way you think, you change the way you feel. You know what I'm saying? I feed my mind, body, and soul.
That's right.
Check this out. I can no longer try to fulfill a spiritual void with a physical solution. Because I'm a guy, just know more.
Right.
More. I just can't do one drug. I just can't do one slice of cake.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Anything I like, right? If I ain't mindful and vigilant, it can mess my life up.
Absolutely.
It mess my life up, man. But once again, man, I want to thank you for having this forum.
Of course. Real quick. So I was told, this may be funny to some, not to others. So when you have a craving, that only lasts, 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really having a bad craving, go to your room, take all your clothes off, and jump in bed. You're not going to walk out the door. Most likely you're not going to make a phone call. But you're going to sit there and you're going to think. And if you have the impulse to get up, you would have to get dressed and everything else. Like I said, may sound funny, but somebody told me that was their way of dealing with a craving.
And sometimes you can do something real simple. Sit on your hands.
Yeah, that too.
You can sit on your
That
hands.
too. Ladies and gentlemen, Albert Johnson. I want to thank him very much for coming on the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. He will be back, and
For sure.
please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.